Welcome back to Tabletop Assault. I'm Ross, and today I'm going to continue my segments in analysing the Necron Codex. Today I'm going to look at the Night Scythe. Now, it is a flyer, not a dedicated transport, but it might as well be. It does help the Necrons in a variety of ways of overcoming one of its weaknesses, which is movement. They're not the quickest force in the sort of variety of codexes in the game. So how this works is we're going to have a look at the stats within the codex, have a look at weapon gear options, and then we're going to have a look at special abilities. After I'm going to have a look at loadout roll and suggestions of how to use it. Going to look at legion traits where applicable and stratagems as well. So with that, let's have a look at the Night Scythe. So the Night Scythe has got variable movement, pretty much the same as Doom Scythe, which is at full capacity it's 20 to 60. Medium it's 20 to 40, and then at lowest it's 20 to 25. Its weapon skill is 6+, which you're not going to worry about. Bliss skill is 3, 4 to 5, depending on how damaged you are. Again, you're not that worried about it in general. Obviously it does have a wee bit of weaponry, but not the best. Strength and toughness of 6. Now again, you'd be hoping it would be 6 because it is flying through space, but fair enough, it's kind of a common thing we see with Necron sort of vehicles, that they are a little bit more fragile. 12 wounds, which is not bad. Attacks go from 3 to D3 to 1. You're not going to need to worry about that because you don't want this in combat. Leadership 10 and a 3+ save, which is a bit better than some of the more open top vehicles. It is armed with 2 Tesla Destructors, which are 24 inches, assault 4 each, strength 7, minus 0 AP, 1 damage, but any 6+ hits scores 3 hits instead of 1. As living metal to return a wound a turn. Airborne basically means that you cannot charge it unless you have the fly keyword as well, and can only be attacked in the fight phase by units with fly keywords. Hard to hit, -1 to hit in the opponent's shooting phase, excellent. Supersonic, each time this model moves, first pivot on the spot 90 degrees, this does not contribute to its movement, and then move the model in a straight forward. Know that it cannot pivot again after the initial pivot. When this model advances, it increases the move characteristic by 20 until the end of phase, do not roll a dice. Crash and burn, if this model is reduced to 0 wounds, roll a d6 before it explodes, removed from the battlefield. On a 6, it crashes in the fire explosion, and each unit within 6 inches suffers d3 mortal wounds. Most importantly, invasion beam. When you set up this unit, this model at the same time, you can also set up any number of friendly Dynasty infantry units on the tomb world rather than setting them up on the battlefield. Before this model moves in your movement phase, a single friendly Dynasty unit that has been set up on their tomb world can be beamed in onto the battlefield by the Night Scythe. Set up a unit so it's wholly within 3 inches of this model and more than 1 inch away from any models. If all Dynasty Night Scythe models from your army are destroyed, any friendly units still in the tomb world are considered as slain. So that's probably the most important rule when it comes to the Night Scythe. So let's have a lot we talk about it when it comes to loadout suggestions and roll. So the other flyer unit in the codex is wildly different from the Doom Scythe. It is mainly here for the ability to beam in units onto battlefields, and a very popular stratagem that David likes to play when using Necrons. We're going to speak about the abilities mainly rather than its weapons, because I'll summarise that with one sentence. 2 Tesla Destructors, you know what they do. Tesla's better in infantry, or possibly, better for infantry because they've got more buffs, or possibly Tomb Blades. This still works out to be 8 hits when all in. However, it's simply not its strength. Its strength is in beaming. So bringing in units to beam in can work, to Necron's advantage, as they have much of their units are particularly really slow. Going to speak about some of the best units to beam in and why they may work. Keep in mind, units beaming in counters reinforcements, so no beaming in turn 1, sadly, though I think that's kind of okay. Turn 1, move where you need to be, and then turn 2, just beam them in straight on. Dave's favourite is usually to take about 2 to 3 Night Scythes along with 3 Necron Warrior squads, maybe a Mortal squad in there as well. Usually have units of 10 to 20, because if your opponent, maybe units of 10 to 20. If you do take them in 10, it's mainly because if your opponent does manage to wipe out all the Night Scythes before you deploy, then if you're taking units 20, that is a massive amount of points to lose, so maybe 10 is just fine. However, if you are beaming in 3 units within rapid fire range, this is going to hurt a lot, badly. 3 units of Necron Warriors within rapid fire range is going to provide a heck of amount of firepower. Say there's 20 of them, that's 120 shots. And if they're like Mithrit, which probably going to be, then it's going to be -2 AP. Ouch. The danger of this is that the units that survive will probably charge your warriors afterwards, if there's any left. However, I've had this drop on me before and it decimated most of my lines, like decimated them. So effective and nice. How I would go about it though for myself is I prefer combat when I use Necrons. Perhaps a few units of Lich Guard, which are awesome, just that not the most competitive. But beam in, they can get past their real weakness, and their main weakness is mobility. I love the Lich Guard, but with war size they will get destroyed before they travel the field. Night Side Tower should be able to help you get over there and overcome one of their major weaknesses. Ultimately, however, the risk in tactics here is dangerous. Failing to get these units where they need to be, like the embarked ones, before losing all your beam units is basically a huge chunk of your army just like automatically getting destroyed by other units getting destroyed. Going second, this is all but guaranteed. In some armies. I mean, against other ones that can't shoot very well, nah, you might be fine. Dynasty codes, in all honesty, none of them really benefit the Night Scythe particularly well. This is designed to transport units in, so I suppose you can argue that Mithra is the best, because if you're going to bring in, like, say, you know, Necron Warriors that are going to be -2 AP, then yeah, fine, they're going to do the best there. Maybe you're going to go Novuk for your Lich Guard, then yeah, you're going to choose that one as well. It's really about what you think got on in the Tomb World. You want to make sure your Dynasty matches to that. Stratagem recommendations: Emergency Invasion Beam, 1 command point. Use the stratagem when the last Dynasty Night Scythe or Monolith from your army is destroyed. Before removing the model from battlefield, you can immediately set up a friendly Dynasty unit on the Tomb World, wholly within 3 inches of the Night Scythe and Monolith and more than 1 inch away from enemy models. Simply put, in case you have more in the Tomb World and you lose your last unit, you can bring them on. This gives you a chance to save that unit. Really, you should try and avoid this, as it means your plans have gone slightly awry, and I feel that, you know, hopefully you've got enhanced invasion beam to make up for it. However, it is a good emergency stratagem, one to keep in mind, but as I said, if you're using this, something has gone badly. Enhanced invasion beam, 1 command point. Use a stratagem before you set up a unit from Tomb World. Before you set up a unit from your Tomb World using the invasion beam ability of Night Scythe from your army, or Eternity Gate ability from your Monolith from your army. You can set up 2 units from your Tomb World instead of 1. This one is by far better on the Night Scythe than the Monolith. If you have multiple units in the Tomb World, then this will help deploy a number of them in one go. Well, 2 of them. Move on to position in turn 2 and then deploy away. I think it's in turn 1 you want to move into position, and then in turn 2 you deploy away. So you take two Night Scythes and 2 units in the Tomb World, and one of the Night Scythes goes down, then you have a reliable way to get them there. This is David's preferred way to transport units, and it's pretty much a high probability he's going to use this stratagem to make sure none of the units get wasted that are on the Tomb Worlds. Damage control override, 1 command point. Use the stratagem at the start of any turn. Pick a Necron vehicle from your army. Until the end of this turn, use this at the top row of that vehicle's damage table, regardless of how many wounds left. This ends immediately if the model is reduced to 0 wounds. I will make this simple. You're not doing this for the attack of the Bliss skill really, but for the movement. Say a Night Scythe is badly damaged, on like 1 wound left, you needed to get further across so it can maybe deploy. I mean, like, you're probably going to then have to survive another round of shooting. Then yeah, this might be essential. Can work well maybe with the emergency invasion beam, because if you're that badly damaged, you'll probably go down your opponent's next turn anyway. But then you can then deploy out from it with the emergency one in your opponent's turn and maybe charge stuff or cause damage later on. Simply put, there may be times to use this, but against things like Doomsday Ark or maybe the Ghost Ark, it's a little bit tricky to see why. So simply just for the movement, because I don't imagine the attacks or Bliss skill are really that important. So thanks again for watching. Please comment, share, like and subscribe. This is one of David's favourite units. He loves coming in and like turn 1 flying them across, then turn 2 deploying. It can be devastating, but if your opponent's quite savvy, take out units, or they deploy, maybe they move their units around the Night Scythe so you can't deploy the cargo inside, it can really hinder them. So there is a few vulnerabilities to it, but it's actually a really fun unit. Thanks again. Make sure you check us out on social media where you can see our upcoming projects, and check us out on Patreon where you can support the channel to bring you more content, because we absolutely love doing so. And guess we'll see you on another Tabletop Assault Battle Report.